Welcome to our weekly roundup of key economic and business developments in Sri Lanka. I'm Nishani Pigera, and here are this week's top stories. President in China encourages Chinese entrepreneurs to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka receives debt restructuring proposal from private creditors. $1.6 billion port city development project signed. In our top story this week, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, during his visit to China, encouraged Chinese entrepreneurs to view Sri Lanka as a strategic hub for emerging green and digital economic ventures. The president is attending the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative in China and emphasized on Sri Lanka's unique geographic advantage, positioning the country as a gateway to Western markets within the broader Asian region. He also met with Pakistan Prime Minister Anwar ul Haq Kakar, engaging in bilateral discussions with a particular focus on strategies for economic recovery. A collective of Sri Lanka's bondholders, known as the Ad Hoc Group of Bondholders of the Republic of Sri Lanka, sent their own recommendations to restructure $12 billion of foreign debt. The proposal involves reductions in both principal and interest, amounting to about 20% haircut, and issuance of regular sovereign bonds and macro-linked bonds. Macro-linked bonds are to be linked to indicators such as Sri Lanka's gross financing needs to GDP and debt to GDP, in which payments depend on target conditions being missed or achieved. Analysts at Citibank, speaking to Bloomberg, said that the proposed restructuring plan in this shape looks extremely generous to investors, adding that Sri Lanka dollar bonds look attractive and fair value for macro-linked could be in the high 50s to mid 60 cents on the dollar if the proposal is accepted. However, the Finance Ministry said on Wednesday that while acknowledging the proposal, it had not received a favorable response from the Sri Lankan government. With the authorities having already informed the bondholders, advisors of their serious reservations about the construct of the macro-linked bonds proposed by the group. On Tuesday, a cooperation framework agreement was signed in Beijing among four parties, amounting to $1.6 billion for the second phase of the Colombo Port City development project. The four parties are the Port City Economic Commission, China Harbour Engineering Company, Browns Investment, and Human Construction Investment Group. This covers the development of the Marina Project, Hotel Project, and the Colombo International Financial Centre Mixed Development Project. Meanwhile, China Harbour Engineering Company is revisiting discussions on an investment zone in Sri Lanka's Hambantota district. The Sri Lankan government initially pledged 15,000 acres in an industrial zone near the Chinese company-controlled Hambantota port. According to its original plan, China was to invest $5 billion and create 100,000 jobs. However, protests, security concerns, including the Easter Sunday attacks, and the COVID-19 pandemic delayed the initiative. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka raised concerns over the assumptions made by the Ceylon Electricity Board in its request for a tariff hike. The PUCSL asked the CEB to resubmit its proposal using the most recent available data. The PUCSL contends that CEB proposal lacks factual support as they do not reflect the latest demand, increased hydro capacity, and coal dispatch data. In our weekly tourism update, tourist arrivals in the first 15 days of October reached 50,395, pushing the yearly total past 1.06 million. Daily arrivals remain subdued at 3,888. The primary source market in the month was India, followed by Russia and the United Kingdom. India made up 24% of arrivals. Now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the All Share Price Index and the S&P SL 20 Index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on all maturities contracted. Bids amounting to 134 billion rupees were received, of which 67 billion were accepted. The Sri Lankan rupee was steady against a dollar this week, with the central bank's indicative mid-spot rate ranging around 323 and 324 rupees. And with that, we wind up for this week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel at the link below for regular updates on economic and business developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.